Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My or I was about to call you the host, Anthony. My guest tonight.
I don't. You may have gotten the email. You've been outed.
I've been
You've been taken
can I
out.
at least be
It's
the
it's coup
co-host?
d'état. You're the junior. You're not the
I'm
coach.
okay
You're
with
more like
that.
the
I'll be the junior
you're
host.
you're the Andy Richter. You're the Andy Richter of
Can
the
I
show.
can I be the
Now I'm in
junior
charge.
host and I'll continue booking people?
It's now called 23 panels.
Well,
One
but that
more.
doesn't go
It's so
along
much
with the
better.
Wally Wood thing. Are you
Yeah,
are
but this is a
you are
new.
you gonna rewrite Wally Wood here?
Yes, of course. If somebody's going to
That's
do it, it's going to be me.
that feels like a dangerous thing to do. I mean, he's not around anymore, but yeah,
See,
I've
like,
heard that he had a temper. Is it Anthony Del Col? I forgot to ask ahead of time how to pronounce the last name. Is it just Del Col or
close.
is it
Yeah, it's
something weird?
it's Dell like the computer, call like a telephone call. Del call.
Del Col.
Yeah.
Okay. Del Col. Anthony Del Col.
Although the Italian, I think the true Italian root name is Deli Colli. There's actually
Del Col.
there's an Italian cinematographer. He did Life is Beautiful, La Vita è Bella, the Benini movie from '99 that won all the
Yeah.
Oscars. And his name is Tonino Deli Colli. So
Okay.
I think that's probably my Italian version. Like
You-
my
You're
if I
trying you're
if
trying to claim that he's a relative. I see how it is.
yes, so I
I
can get
mean, I
I want
actually am
to
one
I'm
of the
trying to
ones that
claim a part of his estate if
I
possible.
mean, I'm one of the ones that actually reads stuff at the back of the back matter of graphic novels. So I saw you
Oh,
cop to Werther Deladera that you don't know any Italian.
oh no. I know a bit. Buongiorno. Grazie.
So Anthony, you are
Prego.
actually our second Pulitzer Prize winner.
What?
Yep, you're our
Who
second
came
Pulitzer
before
Prize
me?
winner.
Who came
Spencer
before me?
Ackerman.
Hack. Complete hack.
Oh, have you read his Iron Man?
He's on the show, isn't he? He's right there. He's behind the curtain,
Not
isn't
right
he?
now. No,
Oh, okay, all right.
he's busy writing a book about Guantanamo.
Oh, so it's a rom-com. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Now
This is
I've
how
got a
we this
baseline.
this is how we do it. This is how we do it here.
Yeah. So your upcoming book, I just had a date and then I forgot it.
April
April
22nd.
23rd
Yeah.
is
I say April 22nd, which is technically the release date of Romeo versus Juliet.
it's probably
However,
the bookstore and 23rd is the
I keep saying the 23rd just because we're releasing it in conjunction with World Shakespeare Day, which is on April
okay.
23rd. So April
Okay.
23rd is the anniversary of both Shakespeare's birth as well as his death. He died on his birthday.
Gotcha.
How much more poetic and dramatic can you get?
I mean
Um,
that feels very Shakespeare to me
oh, it's
to
very
die on his
Shakespearean.
birthday.
There's the
But
rub.
but but
Uh,
but also just from my knowledge of books versus comic shops, 23rd is when it's going to show up in comic shops because that's when they get their
I think
releases.
so.
Bookstores
I
have
don't
their
think.
books
Yeah,
come out on the 22nd.
yeah. Uh,
Gemstone, the website has it listed as April 23rd.
okay. I
So,
yeah, I've been telling everybody April 23rd just because World Shakespeare Day. We were going to release it originally in November of last year, but we decided to hold back a few months just to allow us more time and just it makes it more poetic.
so it didn't have
It's
anything
a
to do
nice
with
title.
Diamond going to hell.
No, at that time they hadn't declared bankruptcy yet. No, no,
No,
bankruptcy
but
was
they
like
were well on their way.
February. I had a bit of an inside knowledge of what was happening. Now I
And
didn't
I
know it would go
only
to that
remember that it was
extent.
solicited through Diamond because I found my bookmark on accident when I was pulling up the page because that was the first time I plugged it. And I
There
was
you
so
go.
happy when your publicist sent me an email. I'm like, oh, I've already talked about this book on the show. Yes, I would like to talk to Anthony.
Yes, perfect. Yes. And here I am trying to
Yeah.
take over your show for you.
Well, I mean, that works for me. That works for me.
That time
Um,
you've had a good run. But Spencer and I
500
are now
plus
going to take it over.
episodes. I mean, lots of people.
Couldn't make it to 600, huh?
I mean, we've only been at it for like, I don't think are we in our fourth year or third year?
You've done 500 episodes in 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I can't compete with that. All right, the show is back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's yours again.
We've done
I can't do that sort of production schedule. No, sorry.
we've done every week for 178 weeks now as just a regular episode. And then we've done like 200 plus interviews, and I have like six different book clubs going.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
This is
My
how I
God.
entertain my kids are grown up. I don't get to see my grandkids enough, so
There you
I
go.
entertain myself.
If I had a baseball hat on right now, I would tip that hat to you.
Hey,
Kudos.
hey. Well, you got a drink, so just like here,
There you go.
we'll toast. I know it's
Cheers.
we're not supposed to toast with
Cheers.
water, but it looks like we're both toasting with water.
Why not? Or is it vodka?
No, mine's not.
No,
Mine's
no.
very much water.
It's too expensive, 20%, 25% tariffs on vodka. So,
Well, no, there's not.
oh,
Russia
yes,
was
the
left
Russia.
out.
That's true. Russia was left out. Yeah.
Russia was left out.
It's 25% cheaper now.
Right. Um, let's have the front counter pitch for first Kill Shakespeare in general, which, well, I brought it up again for the folio edition. I don't think we've like our very first roundtable was a Shakespeare roundtable, and we talked about it some.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, it
nice.
was we were mostly talking more direct Shakespeare adaptations, but I brought it up
Amazing.
and talked
Amazing.
about it. Yeah.
So, yeah, for those that are still listening, anyone that's still maybe listening
Hi,
at this
Mom.
point, hi, Mom. Your mom? It must be your mom because
My
my mom
mom,
is my
I
mom's.
mean, if your mom's listening too,
She,
hi Anthony's mom, but I know my
I
mom's
think,
listening.
I think she's a regular listener to the show, but as soon as she hears my voice, she's like, "Ah, I've had enough of this guy now already."
And hi
Um,
Anthony's mom. We'll be back with who do I have next week?
with another Pulitzer winner next week. That's great. I've
No,
been
Spencer's
replaced.
busy. We're not going to be able to get together until later in the year at the earliest.
Yeah, that's what he claims. He's a Guantanamo, whatever. That's made up. It's fictional. Okay, so for those that
I
have not heard
mean,
of Kill Shakespeare,
he's not
yes,
just telling me, he's telling his newsletter. So
fake
he's
news,
making
fake
it up to a
news.
lot
It's
of
fake news.
people,
It's a
and
fake newsletter.
he has a publisher that's put up a fake book page.
Well, as we know, I mean, the internet is 100% true. So,
Well, that's true. I think that you should have a certain amount of skepticism, but unless you want us to start questioning your comics too, we should possibly give the idea that Pulitzer Prize winners might have more credibility than others when telling news stories.
no, I'm willing to take my stuff down too. Don't worry.
You're willing to take your stuff down too.
I will take my stuff down.
Yeah, there's never
Anyways,
actually been any internment camps in China. That was just a joke. No.
whoa, wow, we're going dark here. And went dark real fast. All right, let's get back on target. So, for those that are still listening and wondering what the heck Kill Shakespeare is, originally launched in 2010. It's a mashup. It's a mashup of all of Shakespeare's characters. So it's a Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings with Hamlet, Juliet, Richard III, Othello, Falstaff, Puck, Lady Macbeth, Iago. Our own little greatest hits list of the characters, or as we originally pitched it. And I always like to joke that we sold the concept on 4 words alone, which was it's the Justice League of Shakespeare. Um, True story. So February 2009, myself and my Kill Shakespeare co-creator Connor McCreary went to New York Comic Con. That's back when Comic Con, New York NYCC used to be in the month of February. We had one meeting set up. We had a pitch package. We had some sample art, outline of what the story would be. And the only meeting I bluffed my way into this meeting was with Chris Ryle, the editor in chief of IDW Publishing at the time, and Greg Goldstein. So we sat down and we did the opening pitch. It's like all of Shakespeare's heroes and villains all together in the same world. And then I said, yeah, it's kind of like the Justice League of Shakespeare. And Chris and Greg started to laugh just like you did. Then they turned to look at each other and you could see them nodding, going like, oh yeah, I can see this. I can
This
see
could
this.
work. This could
So
work.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So that's why I like to say that we sold it on the strength of 4 words. Connor, my co-creator, after the meeting, turned to me, he's like, I didn't even know you knew what the Justice League was. Anyways, so yeah, so originally, like I said, launched in 2010. 10, 15 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
It eventually spawned 5 graphic novels, like 5 volumes, plus a bunch of collected editions, a board game, a stage show that's played everywhere from Chicago to New York to Toronto to Dubai to London at the Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. We have an audio drama with Audible Germany of all places. We were in development hell with the Universal for television. We've done all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
I was about to say I knew that had an audio drama, but when I went looking for it, I could only find it in
It's
German.
only, it's so bizarre. Audible Germany of all places. So audio dramas, even before the podcast boom, audio dramas in Germany were huge. And
Okay.
so the Audible German team, I knew the people at Audible UK. They put me in contact with Audible Germany. Audible Germany said, "Let's do this." Connor and I were commissioned to write the scripts in English. Then they adapted them. They got someone to translate them into German. They recorded it. It sounds cool. I have no idea what. Well, I know what they're saying, but I don't know.
Right. You know what
But
they're supposed to be
I know
saying.
what they're supposed to be saying, but maybe they're actually saying something completely opposite.
Right.
B2 or not B2. That no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, it was a great run. We had a blast with it, and then everything was kind of stuck in limbo. Maybe about 5 years ago, IDW, as we know, was going through a bunch of problems. They're still going through a bunch of problems. So they kind of put
I
Kill
think
Shakespeare on
it's
the shelf.
somewhat different problems this time around, but yes, they've been through multiple rounds of problems.
Multiple runs, just a myriad of problems.
Welcome to
Uh,
comics.
I know, shocker, huh? Spoiler alert. It's tough. It's hard to be a publisher these days in comics. So everything was stuck in limbo for in TV and comics, everything else. And so myself and Connor just started the process of getting all the rights back. So we got lawyers involved. We waited for some of the deals to expire. We had to negotiate some of the other deals. We got the comic rights back. We got film and TV back. We got the board game, audio, all that stuff back. Um, and yeah, we were then able to get everything back. And in the process, we started to think about, well, what do we want to do once we get these rights back? And I had a vision at that point. I hope I'm not getting too far ahead of ourselves here. And it's where I had this vision
I
of
go it literally whatever direction you want to go.
perfect. So
We're
while
very lo-fi.
I can tell, I love it. I love it. And so while we were doing that, I kind of had this vision of a scene, and it was a moment or like a visual of Romeo and Juliet standing off against each other in a high noon Western style showdown. And immediately it just, I got goosebumps. The light bulb went off on top of my head because the electricity finally went back on. Yeah, just that image just kind of stuck with me. And so I realized, well, that's the story that I want to tell. And so I kind of built it from there. So worked backwards. Okay, well, if that's the climax, what leads up to it? And realized that I'd always wanted to tell a story in the Western genre. And so I realized that that's what the story would be. And so, yeah, then that's now bringing us to where we are today, which is Romeo versus Juliet, a Kill Shakespeare Adventure. And Elizabethan Western comes out April 23rd, April 22nd, however you want to look at it. And Juliet it's a very simple story. Juliet is tasked with protecting the border town nunnery from invading forces, which involve or include her ex Romeo Montague. In order to do that, she has to rally her old friends together, namely Hamlet, Othello, Puck, and a bunch of others. So it's our magnificent Shakespeare 7.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. It's got the Western all the Western elements that you want in there. There's action, adventure, a love triangle. There's violence. There's poetry, fantasy, everything in there. So it's a lot of fun. If you know the Kill Shakespeare world, if you've read the earlier Kill Shakespeare books, it's a continuation of it technically. But I've also written this, so it's an on ramp for those that have never read Kill Shakespeare before.
Yeah, you said 5 books. Were all of them in the folio edition, or did I not manage to reread something? Be,
No, Kill
because
Shakespeare.
this does
Yeah,
start off at a very different point, and there's some allusions to something that happened
yeah.
that I don't remember seeing happen at any point.
So as I said, we got all the comic rights back and all the rights back for Kill Shakespeare. So we signed a deal about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago with Gemstone Publishing, which is part of Diamond. Happy to talk about some of my experiences with that. And so Gemstone has releasing not only Romeo versus Juliet, but also the original Kill Shakespeare book. So it'll be collected into two volumes, two compendiums. The first folio, which was released last October, that collects volumes 1 and 2, which was the
Right.
original arc for the series. And then second folio, which comes out this October, will be collecting volumes 3 through 5. And that's where you find
That's
out some of the stories. Yeah, that's where, yeah.
that's what I felt like because I'm like,
There's the
I
rub.
know that I've read more than what I managed to reread recently, and
Yeah.
that's where is I
Don't worry,
read
but
all
you, but,
five
but you were
like
still
four
able to get
years
into it.
ago.
Yeah, but you were still able to get into it though, right?
Yeah,
Romeo
oh
versus
yeah,
Juliet.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
and that's the thing. Like it
I
almost
actually
feels like, yeah.
I read Romeo versus Juliet and then I went back and reread
Mm.
the folio.
Oh,
So
there you
I
go.
can absolutely say that even if you haven't read the 5 volumes, there's going to be one thing you got to go, okay, I'm just going to accept this.
Yeah. Yeah. In some sense, you could even bypass all the other Kill Shakespeare books and just, if you're familiar with Rome, and we all know, everyone in the world knows the story of Romeo and Juliet, star-crossed lovers, meet each other, love at first sight, and then they eventually take their lives. So we all know that story. If as long as you know that, you can then read Romeo versus Juliet. If you want to read
Yeah.
the original 5 Kill Shakespeare books, great. I'd love to get the money. I'd love to get those royalties trickle in here.
Well, I mean,
Um,
right now you won't get money for 3 of them until the next folio comes out because really the only
sure.
way to read them is from your library or buying them used. You've already been paid what you're going to get paid for those. I'm sorry to break it to you. You worked for Business Insider. You're supposed to understand how economics work, at least this much.
What's what is it? Everyone says this term economics. What is that exactly? By the way, I've just been named a cabinet minister in the government here in the U.S. So yeah,
Too bad you can't be in the line of secession because you're Canadian. Lucky bastard, you can get away.
that's true. Well, I'm Canadian and American. We had, I know we were able to get our we've got our citizenship because we my wife and I moved here about 11 years ago now, and so 2 years ago we got American citizenship. We have
Well,
two
see,
kids,
that's
our
good. It
anchor babies,
makes
our
it
anchor babies.
slightly less likely that they'll just put you on a plane to El Salvador.
It's true. Okay, so in all seriousness, I've told like because as you mentioned, I've written some stuff for some digital comics. We had a series of
Yep.
Business Inside, and there were a couple
I
that told
might
the
have been
truth.
moving towards those, or
Exactly. Yeah.
or the I laugh because they still refer to Son of Hitler as controversial. I don't think it's controversial until the final act and like
Oh
one
yeah. Yeah.
small
Yeah.
decision that you made.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. 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 Glad you noticed that. Wow.
One teeny tiny decision made it very
Yeah.
controversial.
Again, everything
And
comes down to four
frankly,
words.
makes me
4 words.
shocked that you haven't been shot already. Just like I feel like they have that kind of money and that
That's
kind of
true. Maybe if Son of Hitler sold more copies, maybe that would be in. I'd be
yeah,
in
yeah.
the. I'd have a target on my back. No, in all seriousness, I have told my wife that because if when we do leave the country for a vacation or whatnot, if for some reason, and I know I have American citizenship, but if for some reason the authorities stop me because somehow I've been flagged because I've wrote some stuff for Business Insider, I've
Right.
told her like, this is what you do. This is who you contact. I've already spoken to a lawyer here who's like,
I believe it.
yeah, just in case. I
I
don't think
mean,
that would
it's
ever
the world we
happen. I
live in
don't.
right now. You have to.
Yeah,
I would be
yeah,
disappointed in you if you hadn't. I
yeah. I mean,
mean,
and that's what.
aside
Yeah,
from I escaped a Chinese internment camp, which won you your Pulitzer Prize and is very real, and it is not fake news at all. I just had to
yeah.
come back at you because like the book I was referencing is about a guy that was in Guantanamo for 20 years. Also not fake at all. So,
Yep, yep.
fighting
No, I
words.
mean,
Spencer's my buddy. And another
um,
Brooklynite. You better watch out, man.
yeah. I'm Park Slope, man. This is that really Brooklyn.
Um,
No,
but
but I mean,
but but you
in that,
also wrote
in
Donald Trump's first term. I don't know that I really think it is a graphic novel, but they call it a graphic novel on But
I think they use the
it
term
seems a
graphic
little short to
novella.
be a graphic
I can't
novel.
remember. I can't remember. Somebody described it as a graphic novel. I'm like, oh, I'm going to use that. So I think I told them to use that moving forward on a couple of things.
Okay,
So
that
I think
works.
we did. I think we did three. So the very first story. So this is. So I did a series for those listening, still listening. Hi, mom. Hi, mom. I did
Hi,
a series of
Adam. Hi,
nonfiction.
Britt. Hi, hi,
Exactly.
hi, John. Those might be my other three lists. No, I probably have more than that.
Hi, Spencer.
He might.
Um, exactly. So for those still listening, I did a series of nonfiction digital comics with Business Insider from 2020 through to
Looks like
2024,
the
I think it
first
was.
one
Yeah.
was February
Yeah.
26th,
Right before the pandemic.
2020.
Yeah.
We
Right before
hired
the pandemic. Yeah.
two comics creators from the world of DC and Marvel to tell the full story of why Trump was impeached and what he got away with.
Exactly. Yeah. So we did, I think, three. So that one went viral. It was trending on all the social media at the time. The second story we did was about Harry and Meghan, which is probably the story of mine that has the highest readership of all of them. I think we had over a million readers of that because somehow
Well, that makes sense because, we've got all of the. Oh,
the Sussex
I
squad, the
see
Sussex
why they're
squad. Yeah.
calling it a graphic novel because they're counting more than one cartoon as a graphic novel.
Okay.
If you put like the five of them together, starting from how he got impeached and
Mm. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
going
Anyways, yeah.
through, yeah, okay.
Yeah. The first 10 stories or so that we
And they're
did with
missing
Business
out because they
Insider.
could make money selling these. You're missing out. You could make money selling these.
We looked into this. The problem is that they were very of the moment, and so by the time they'd be published, they'd be like, oh well, especially with Trump, be like, oh well, that was like a 300 news cycles ago. Like, what's the latest scandal that's happened? And even like the Harry
I
Meghan
mean,
ones were a little dated. So we talked about it. Out of all the ones we did, about 22 dozen stories. I mean, the only one that's been published was the Pulitzer one. I
right.
escaped a Chinese internment camp. I mean,
So
that's a one-off.
that's
So
gotten a paper publishing as well.
yep, yeah, that's been printed. All the others we've talked about
Well,
doing a
and
collection of
not
some of
even
them.
Brittany in her own words.
Shockingly, no, no.
And I
And
honestly don't
so
know who
yes,
James Charles is. Is that good or bad?
I've gained more respect for you. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know who James Charles was until like, hey, why don't you do a story about James Charles?
I
It's
mean,
like, oh,
I almost read
okay,
it just because I didn't know who he was, and then I'm like, no, I didn't
yeah,
actually get to finish your.
yeah.
I know that Nancy Drew didn't really die, but I don't know how the mystery ended yet.
Shh,
That's in issue one.
shh. Come on, spoilers, Mom. Mom is not going to appreciate
That's
this.
in issue one of a book that came out 5 years ago.
Do you? So when that was announced in January of 2020. Dynamite Entertainment, Dynamite Comics, what do they call themselves? They put out the press release to celebrate the 90th anniversary of the creation of Nancy Drew.
Right.
Anthony and Joe are have created the death of Nancy Drew, and so that went viral. Like that, like
No,
all of a sudden we
I
received death
remember
threats.
I,
It was
I was
crazy.
working at a comic shop and I immediately said, she's not dead.
Thank you. But everyone lines like, how dare they kill off Nancy Drew, blah, blah, blah. The New York Times
I'm
called me
like,
that day
I'm
asking me for comment.
I'm like,
CNN, all these places.
she's not dead.
Spoiler again. But no, she's not dead. And
I
so,
mean,
yeah,
the
it was,
only time the death of anybody has actually led to the death of somebody was Speedy. And
yeah,
like Jaime Hernandez is very different from your average cartoonist.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, it was wild
And
that like for
really,
a
we
few
met
hours.
Speedy at the beginning of the death of Speedy. So it's not even like he was this huge, revered character.
Yeah.
Here's
Oh,
Speedy.
God.
This story is called The Death of Speedy. In a couple years, he's going to be dead. You know this because we said so at the beginning.
Don't get mad at us after the fact. We warned you. Oh dear. Anyways, yes, that's yeah, anyways, that was one of those wild moments where yeah, it was weird to get contacted by the New York Times asking for comment. So yeah, the death of Nancy Drew. I don't even know how we got on this topic, but um
Randomly, like everything happens
randomly,
in this show.
just randomly. Anyway, so the
Yeah.
nonfiction, so the Business
Oh,
Insider
I was
series is still
explaining why I didn't find out who that guy was
Oh yeah,
because I
James
had to
Charles.
read
Yeah,
Nancy Drew instead.
that's true.
Yeah,
You're better off for that. You did not
I
lose any
think
brain
so.
cells in the process. So I was lucky. Like I said, we did about a dozen stories. The first 10 or so were more of like the pop culture, celebrity, Trump stuff. And then I pitched my editor, Walt, and then he pitched the global editor in chief, Nick Carlson. I skipped a Chinese internment camp. I had heard about the genocide happening in Xinjiang region in China. And I thought, well, there's no photos or there's no videos of what these places look like. But maybe the next best thing is to do as a comic so we can kind of visually illustrate what these places look like. And so as soon as I pitched it, we immediately got the green light. And then we were so proud of that. And that kind of put us, that allowed us to pivot in a completely different direction. So we did more real life stories of, I like to call, we did the stories of real life superheroes. So people who are
Yeah.
fighting against atrocities, against authoritarian governments, against horrible regimes, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, over the course of about a dozen graphic novellas, we told stories about
See, I'm
internment
okay with
camps.
just using comics for all of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I know. Digital comics, like social
And eventually it
activists.
went back to saying comic. I survived the capsizing of Adriana. Comic.
That one I'm very proud of because remember 2 years ago there was that 5-person submersible craft
Yep.
that was trying to see the Titanic, 5 rich people that paid like how much
Hmm.
money to go under. And at the exact same time, there was a ship of 704 migrants from Northern Africa that were trying to get over to Europe. The ship, there was a shipwreck just off the coast of Greece. 604 of those people died, including all women and children. And so I
Right.
was able to find two survivors, and they told me the harrowing tale of what exactly happened. So they walked me through it, and so we were able to tell their story. And so I was very honored and very blessed to be able to share these real life stories, and kind of shine a spotlight on these areas of the world that doesn't get that areas that
I
don't
think
get the amount of attention
it's
that they should be
fantastic, and I
getting.
haven't read through them all yet, but I now have them bookmarked, so I'm certain that
How
I
dare you?
will.
You did not do your enough preparation for this. What would Spencer think of you right
It's
now?
special ed, dude. I have other responsibilities, and I have this tendency to talk to way too many people on podcasts.
500 people over the span of 4 years.
Well, no,
Okay,
500
okay,
episodes.
okay. Let's
It's
do the math on
there's
this.
only like
200.
220 different interview episodes, and some of those people have been repeated. So, I mean,
People come back for this torture.
they do actually. It's crazy.
Wow. How much
I
you pay them?
know.
How much am I getting
I
paid for this,
don't.
by the way?
I don't. Some of them are actually friends of mine now. How much do I get paid for this? Are you kidding me? I have
No, how much
this.
am I getting paid for this?
Are you getting paid? That's good. If
Comics,
you're
baby. It's the comics
if you're
industry.
lucky, you'll sell like two more copies of your book.
Thanks, mom. Thanks, mom.
Maybe three. Well, mom
Yes.
works
Thanks,
at a
Spencer. Thanks,
library, so I
Spencer.
mean that one could go out
Even
to.
better. See, I've heard some people in the past say, well, shouldn't you encourage people to read, like to buy your book instead of getting it at the library? I was like, no, I don't care. Like, as long as at the end of the day, as long as people are
But
reading it. And I mean, like, I honestly, I read a lot of my graphic novels from the library too. Like,
well, and here's something that I'll actually say for people who are saying that
yeah.
having a book that most libraries buy is called having a profitable book.
Oh, yes. Trust me. Like, oh yeah, we know that. Like, I mean, Kill Shakespeare so many of our volumes. I mean, there's a
Right.
huge amount of sales to, that's why last year I
Right.
went to the American Library Association so I could like talk to as many librarians as possible. Like that's like
Right.
you're talking
I mean,
like thousands of
it's
branches
why
across the country. Yeah.
Scholastic cares what they publish because as long as they know that their brand is good enough that almost every library will buy them,
Yeah.
they can afford to publish
Yeah.
anything they want.
Yep.
So all they have to
It's
do is
huge. Yeah.
protect the brand.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and that's why even with Kill Shakespeare, the only editorial change we've ever had to make in all these years was I think we showed the issues to like a librarian consultant, or I can't remember who it was, but it was the last page of issue 6 of Kill Shakespeare. So it was the end of the first arc, the end of the first volume. And so one of the librarians said, "Oh, there's a little too much side boob on Lady Macbeth. Can you tone that down a bit, just because some librarians might not want that, or
Right.
might be offended by that." So it's like, okay, we can change it. So we just reduce it slightly. But I mean, when it comes to violence, like there's especially
Though
the
one of
beginning of
my
Kill Shakespeare.
favorite
There's yeah,
One of my favorite stories that I've ever heard, and it actually directly has to do with
Is this another
Scholastic.
Spencer story? Because he's the coolest
No,
guy
no,
ever, and I'll
no,
never be
no,
as
no.
cool as he
This
is.
is a Jeff Smith story. Jeff Smith might be
Ooh,
cooler than Spencer.
ooh,
I
that's
think
he's cooler
Spencer
than
would
everybody.
actually agree that Jeff
He's
Smith
cooler
is
than
cool.
everybody. Yes, yes.
He was kind of shocked when they picked Bone to be what they led off the graphics line with. It was the first Scholastic graphic novel. And he's like, I've been done with this book for like 10 years and I didn't write it for kids. And they're like, yeah, but we think it would be perfect for you. He's like, I'm not changing anything. And they're like, no, no, we don't need anything changed. And he and Vijaya are in New York to like sign the contract. They're walking through Central Park. They get a call from the editor. Can you come like 15 minutes early to the party? I just need to go over. And they're just like, we're on our way over now.
Yeah.
And apparently they'd gone to the book show people, and the book show people had like marked it up with like thousands of. And Jeff said, "What did I say on day one?" And she's like, "That's what I thought you'd say. Thank you. I just wanted to make that
Okay.
certain that that was
Okay.
clear.
Okay.
We'll go back to tell them they can carry it or not. We're pretty certain they'll regret it if they don't."
And it's too bad he didn't make those changes because nobody bought the book.
I
And
know.
what is this
It's
series?
only
What is the
on like
series again?
the 25th printing of the phone book size
It's a little
complete
known
edition.
book. It's a little known indie book. Yes, yes. And no one's ever heard of it, just because he refused to make some editorial changes. The moral
Yeah,
of the
well,
story.
and all ones that he like predicted at the beginning, where he's like, there's smoking and drinking in this book, right? I'm not changing any of that. You don't get it. It's a pain in the ass to go back and redraw things. I've
My
been done
hand
with this
cramps up
book.
easily, and I just yeah.
I'm doing other things now.
I didn't know that it had been published for 10 years before Scholastic picked it up.
It came out in single issues in the 90s.
Wow, I didn't know there was such a wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he and Vijaya self-published it for the 90s. Briefly, it was distributed through Image. So like about a
Hmm.
year's worth were among the first Image books.
Interesting. I didn't know that. So you're saying
Yeah.
that I still have a chance that Scholastic will publish Son of Hitler.
Son of Hitler might be a long shot for Scholastic, but I could see some companies that might look at Son of Hitler for the adult market, even the adult library market.
We've talked about because I mean the book was a success. We got nommed for a couple of awards.
I mean,
But
honestly, it's probably more interesting to some publishers now than when it came out,
yeah, yeah.
particularly because of the thing that you did that was so controversial.
Well, I mean,
I
I
didn't
don't want
even
to
realize
reveal
that one of them had died until today. Did you know that Coke is
who, what?
suing Trump over tariffs? But it's not the Koch brothers because only one of them's still alive. But Charles Koch is suing Trump over
Oh, I didn't know they
tariffs.
were suing him. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that
Which,
makes
if it
sense.
was
Yeah.
anybody else, I'd go, oh, thank God. But now I'm like, is this deliberately designed to lose in the Supreme Court, but set the
Oh,
precedent?
you're right. Oh gosh, you're right. I was cheering it on, but now,
Yeah, I don't know
oh,
if I can cheer it on. Because particularly because apparently it's Charles Koch and Leonard Leo are part of the, and I'm like, no, 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 no,
really?
no, no.
Sorry, Leo's
This,
involved with this
yeah, I'm like
with the
this,
lawsuit. Oh
yeah,
God. Yeah.
this
Okay. Yeah.
feels like this.
Yeah.
This feels like, hey guys, he's finally gone crazy. Let us help you get him. Oh, we lost. Darn.
Oh no. And so the rest of you lose now. Shoot. All
Because
right. Let's not get
Jeopardy
too
is
much into
attached
politics
and the
then.
president has been made.
Oh gosh. Oh, great. Now I'm in an even worse mood. Thank you.
Sorry.
Now I need.
So
I need
this
to.
is the perfect
I
time for
need
me to
some.
pitch. If you're interested, once a month we have on 22 panels the Joy, Resistance, Hope, and Survival Book Club and Support Group, which is co-hosted by my friends at Psychocomicology. So we have actual psychologists in the room.
Oh,
We recently talked about this wonderful book, Song of a Blackbird by Maria van Lieshout that is
Ooh,
about um, artists in Amsterdam during World War II, um,
really?
smuggling children to foster families and pulling off one of the bigger bank heists in history, making it even worse
What?
because they replaced all of the bills with counterfeit ones that then wound up getting distributed among the high levels of
Is this a
Nazi
true story?
bankers.
Is
Yes.
this a true
Well,
story?
the book itself is historical fiction, but
Oh,
it
okay,
is
okay.
but it is extensively footnoted at the back with all of the real stuff that went into it.
Is this graphic novel or is this
Graphic novel. Yeah, yeah.
or is it graphic novel? No, just kidding. So it's graphic novel. Oh, that's cool.
Graphic novel. Yeah.
When did this come out?
This came out late last year. Or no, I guess it's copyright 2025. I read a advanced copy
Ooh.
late last year. It came out
Oh,
early
well,
this year with
now
the
you're just
first
showing
second
off.
books.
Now you're just showing off. Oh, for a
Yeah,
second. Okay, yeah, that makes
first
sense. Yeah,
second. Yeah, yeah.
that's cool. I got to look this up.
Yeah. I plug it to everybody. And next
That's
month,
incredible.
because we just want to laugh, we're reading The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Oh, okay. All right. Ryan North
Because that's
version.
kind of the idea. Yeah, of course. Because like we sat back and like
He's Canadian though. Why would you want to read something of his? Why would you want to read Canadian stuff?
I mean, so is Chip Zdarsky, so is Jeff Lemire, so is Neil Young. I mean, half the great things of
Except for
America
Neil
come
Young and
from
stuff. Yeah.
Canada.
This episode
I
brought to you
missed the
by
Expos.
Canada.
I should have put my Expos cap on.
Oh, you've okay. So I'm going to Montreal in through on Friday. So one of my goals while I'm in Montreal, they probably won't even sell it there, but is to try to track down like a really nice Expos hat.
Well, if they don't, let me know. I can
Yeah,
show you the places online that you can get them.
yeah. I know you get them online. I just want to see if I get one in Montreal.
Yeah, that would be
Probably
cool.
not.
I
Probably not.
I have my son actually gave me an Expos cap for Father's Day years ago.
Greatest Father's Day
Um,
gift of all time.
one of the yeah, very much. Um,
And he's your favorite son now.
well, he's my only son. I
But
was
he's still your favorite though. He's your favorite.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay. Just want to clarify that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But and I have a Dawson Expos jersey. Andre Dawson is
Nice.
responsible for why I love baseball. Now,
Tell me more.
it was his first season on the Cubs. I was 7 and he
Okay.
hit
Yeah.
49 home runs. Like 33 of them were at Wrigley Field during the day and it was one of the hottest summers on record, so mom actually encouraged us to stay inside with the air conditioning. So I watched a lot of baseball that summer and like the indelible image is Andre Dawson hitting home runs.
Oh yeah. That brings me back.
It ended my brief football fandom that lasted from the Super
Good.
Bowl shuffle until Andre Dawson started hitting home runs.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back. I can only handle one sport. Baseball's my sport.
Oh yeah. Baseball used to be my sport, and then I found my way into basketball, and I haven't looked back. Yeah.
I mean, I'm from Chicago, so I should be more of a basketball guy. Basketball does seem to be the second biggest. Well,
Yeah.
do you consider pro wrestling a sport?
I view it as more like a theater than
Okay,
sport. I
me
mean,
too.
but
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
among comic creators, basketball is probably behind only baseball in terms of the number of
Oh,
comic creators that are also big fans of that sport. Most common among comics creators is not to like any sports at all.
that's true.
But
Yeah, yeah.
if they like sports, it's baseball or basketball. And David Harper has all the basketball fans, and I've got the
Yeah.
baseball fans. I
Oh,
literally,
yeah, yeah.
I have a annual baseball and comics podcast after the World Series before Thanksgiving, where I bring together
Because
baseball people that I know
because
like
doing
comics.
500 podcasts of 22 panels isn't enough. You know, you need to do another. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's how I get to 500 is I have crazy things like
Oh,
that.
there you go. Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. Okay. That's part of the 500. Okay. Well, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I'm trying to think. I mean, definitely. Okay, if you go through comic creators or the comics community, the number one, if this was Family Feud, what's the number one answer would be no sports. Yeah, I guess baseball. I mean, I feel like I know
Number
more.
two would either be baseball or wrestling, depending on whether we call wrestling a sport.
Yes, if wrestling's a sport, then number two would be wrestling. I would be number
I think
three
that's
as basketball.
closer than you
I feel like
think.
I know more basketball fans than baseball fans in the comics world, but that might be
It's close, but I bet you that
yeah.
well, and as I say, that has to do with you being a basketball fan. My knowing more baseball fans definitely has to do with my being a
That's true.
baseball
That's
fan.
true.
So like,
And I wonder if that's also Canadian
but
bias, just because.
I can also find lots more experience or like random baseball stuff in comics than any sport other than
That's true.
wrestling.
Okay,
For
football,
that
no
matter, you know what I learned from
soccer.
Dennis Kitchen?
What?
They used to
Who's
have
they?
an
Who's they?
at San Diego Comic Con.
Okay, yeah.
It was either the editors versus the publishers or the publishers versus the distributors. It had changed year by year depending on who was out there, but they
Yeah.
had on Friday afternoon a San Diego
Really?
Comic Con softball game.
No.
They came this close to having it at Jack Murphy Stadium one year. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I've never heard of this before. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Too bad there's no like leaked footage of that from years ago.
No, but I did find a newspaper article about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. It exists.
Yeah. I mean, it was also quoting Dennis Kitchen, so I mean, maybe
That
he's
was it.
just
Okay. And you found it online, and we all know that's lies on the line anyway. So,
No, it was in a reputable online source.
okay.
I don't
Business
remember
Insider.
which one right now, but oh wow. See, we're already losing track of time. So, um, since I don't want to steal all of your time, I do need to ask like the two required questions
Yes.
for well, one of them's a required question, period, and that's what we'll
Yeah.
wrap up with. But the required question for any time I talk to somebody for the first time and saving at least 5 minutes to answer the second question. Give me like your comics history, not like your comics history as in, oh, I made this book and I made this book. If that works in, great, but we already know what you made.
Yeah.
Like, when did you start reading comics? What made you a fan of the comics medium? What made you decide this is something that I want to do with my life? Blah blah blah,
Yeah.
whatever.
There's two parts to the story, or two parts to the answer. First part is, or the yeah, two parts to the story. First part is when I was young. I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I loved GI Joe. I know
Okay.
I've grown up in Canada. Yes, I know, but I mean, I just love GI Joe. I love the characters. I was never exposed to the cartoon
I
because
was
for some
only
reason
allowed to watch the PSA at the end of the cartoon.
the cartoon did not air in Canada. It only aired on one of the French Canadian stations. So every now and then, whenever I could, I'd find it and I'd watch it. I'd be like, I don't know what they're saying right now, but this is still the coolest thing. So I love GI Joe. I was obsessed with GI Joe. My Christmas gift and when I would turn 6 was Clutch, who was the mechanic, and there's my parents gave me the Jeep, and that was still to this day one of the greatest Christmas gifts I've ever received. And then I was told, someone told me, or no, I think I was at a uh, what was it called then? It was called a Pinto. It was sort of like the 7-Eleven up in, like, I grew up in Northern Canada. And so the convenience store, they had, like they sold comics, they had a comic spinner rack. And so I saw a G.I. Joe comic. I'm like, what is this? And so I immediately had to get it. And so I read a bunch of issues of I think it's the old Larry Hama ones. I think they were.
Yeah, see,
Um,
I have to interrupt you really quick here
yeah,
because I want to say it was Larry Hama that first
I
put
think
the
so.
22 panels together. I mean, Wally
Why are you
Wood
doing this?
like
Yeah.
had them, but I want to say it, yeah, Wood's ex-assistant Larry Hama, by then an editor at Marvel Comics, posted up photocopies of Wood's drawings in the Marvel bullpen,
There you go. See, all roads
the
lead back
22
to G.I.
panels
Joe.
that always work.
So yeah, so I mean, so my love of GI Joe brought me over to comics. So I read Batman, Alpha Flight, a bunch of stuff I did when I was younger. Then much like yourself, I was bit, and then all of a sudden I lost interest in it. I got involved in baseball and everything on sports and that sort of thing. And then after I graduated from business school, I know, then flash forward like 15 years or something like that. I graduated from business school, and my friend Connor McCreer, who became my Kill Shakespeare co-creator, he was working at the Silver Snail in Toronto as a part-time job. And so he's like, you know what, Anthony, you should read some of the comics that have come out in the last 10 years. I think you'd be really impressed with them. I'm like, sure, like load me up. So he gave me Fables, he gave me Why the Last Man, he gave me The Walking Dead. Like these are all before The Walking Dead became the television series. So we're talking like 2000 and maybe 2005,
Year two.
2010, like that sort of thing. Yeah, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
And so he put copies of these in my hands. And then all of a sudden I realized that, oh, wow, like this, I feel like the art form, for some reason, I know this is complete ignorance, the art form had just blossomed and
Um,
become
that's
incredible.
part
Like
of it.
just, yeah, like, I mean, Brian K, like the storytelling from Why the
Yeah.
Last Man just blew me away. That's still my favorite comic series of all time.
I mean,
Um,
like if you want to fall deep into the weeds in U.S. comics, you start with Vertigo and then
yeah, yes,
follow Karen Berger and Shelley Bond
yeah,
wherever they
yeah.
go.
Yep. No, that's the gold standard. That's the gold standard. Yeah.
You
But I
know,
mean, like, but Connor put those.
but then you discover that Europe and Japan got there first
Yeah. So yeah. So
because they
Connor
didn't
put.
have a Wortham.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So
really the difference.
yeah,
They didn't have a
yeah,
Wortham. And then you start discovering that we used to have amazing comic strips and that EC Comics will blow your mind.
yeah, yeah.
That like
It's true.
there is an alternate history of US comics that
Yeah.
is mostly in Mad Magazine now because Bill Gaines is a genius and he said, "Well, you won't let me put them on the newsstand if it's a comic, so we're going to put in 3 pages worth of text and we're going to call it a magazine."
Yeah. So that's sort of that's how I got back into comics. So it was that, and then roughly around the same time, I read The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, the Michael Chabon
Okay.
book.
Mhm.
Still one of my top five favorite novels or books of all time. And
Did you
so
know his
that's what
brother's a editor at Dark Horse?
Daniel Chabon.
Hmm.
I didn't know that they were related.
I didn't until
I didn't
recently
know.
either.
I didn't know that. All I know is that one of the highlights, or sorry, when we launched Kill Shakespeare, it officially launched at WonderCon in April of 2010, and he was there to promote because Dark Horse had put out The Escapist, like a collection of the
Escapist.
Escapist books. So he was there doing a sign. I'm like, well, I have to go and introduce myself. So I introduced myself and just said thank. I profusely thanked him, like, thank you for inspiring me with the book. You know, because I
I'm
read
actually
that.
really
That
surprised he hasn't done more comics because he
I mean,
did the Escapist comics,
yeah, yeah. I know. I'm surprised too, but I
and
think he
I
got
know
big.
he's
I
a
mean,
comics nut.
oh
One
yeah,
of
he
his
loves it. Yeah.
well, one of his essays in have you ever read Manhood for Amateurs?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's essentially his essays about being male, being a dad, that sort of thing. And
What? Oh my God.
one of them talks about making comics with his kids every weekend. It's like a
That's
family
familiar.
thing.
That's familiar. I feel like I've heard this before or heard about this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, so it was a combination of Connor putting Why the Last Man, Fables, Walking Dead, like the all the Vertigo stuff in my
Okay.
hands, and then reading Cavalier and Clay, and that's what brought me into, or that's what propelled me into becoming a comics creator. That's what inspired me, and here
Yeah.
we are, like
That's a
15,
good set.
20 years later. Yeah. So yeah, basically that's my comic story.
Okay. Well, that makes me excited to ask this question,
Uh-oh.
which is the required final question.
Dun, dun,
Um,
dun. Drum roll, please.
Tell me something you love, preferably a comic. If it must be from a different medium, fine, but preferably storytelling. Um, that not enough people around you have experienced, and you need them to because you want more people to talk about it with.
I mean, in my day-to-day life, okay. So my favorite experience, my favorite storytelling consumption experience of the last couple of years are the Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillip collaborations. Like the Reckless books, and then the other ones. Though the Haunted one is I have on my bookshelf right now. That's the next one. I enjoy it just because they're first of all, they're high quality, but they're so much fun. And I also, it's one of those things where I know it's a cliche where I'm just like, I want to take an afternoon and just like do nothing but just sit back and read and just enjoy it. Like I don't want
As
any,
somebody who's done that with Brubaker and Phillips, I
yeah,
I say that you should give yourself that pleasure from time to
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But also, I'm going to say that you need to check out Condon Phillips.
So what am I? Oh, is this the Texas one or
That
no?
Texas
Yeah.
Blood. That Texas Blood. They've got another one in the pipeline that
Oh,
hasn't been announced yet.
really?
Uh-huh.
I haven't checked out Texas Blood yet. How many? Is
Uh,
there two volumes on that? One volume?
I
I
think
can't
there's
remember.
at least three. And then there's the oh, what's they actually did a a Western in that county, but like back in the
Oh yes, yes,
uh,
yes, yes, yes. Okay, yeah, I can picture the cover. I can picture the
that was
cover.
also very, very good. And I am a little bit Enfield Gang Massacre. I am I am biased. Chris Condon is a friend of mine, but he became a friend of mine after I was in love with his work.
Okay, yeah.
So like um but I've said it before, I'll say it again. When Sean finally comes on the show, I'll say it to his face. Jacob's already better than his dad is and
Wow,
continues to get better.
that might be the highest praise that you can give to an
And,
artist.
and that's without taking anything away from
Oh,
Sean.
of course,
I
yeah. No, of course, yeah.
adore Sean's work.
Yeah, yeah.
When I said that to Jacob, Jacob laughed, and it's because he said it's because I know how to draw faces that aren't my dad's.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so much
Which
fun. It's
there
it's one of the
may
yeah,
be truth to that statement.
yeah. Maybe,
Go look at a
maybe.
picture of Sean Phillips. Go look at most of the characters in Criminal and Reckless.
They're just so much fun. Like they know the stories that
Oh,
they're
they
telling.
do.
They know the tone.
And I
Um,
also, I mean, I love their criminal books. I love their reckless books. I love
yeah.
that they've been doing
And the
stuff
output.
outside of that, like Where the
Yeah.
Body Was. Did you read Where the Body Was?
Yes, yes, that's the
Oh
one. Yeah,
my
yeah. I
God.
I actually read that on my birthday last year. I had like 2 hours to
Okay.
myself. I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
celebrate my birthday by reading the recent one. Yeah,
Where the Body Was amazing.
yeah, yeah,
And while it was a crime book, it was just so different from anything else they've
yeah,
done.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like
No.
it's hard for me to believe this, but I feel like they get better every single book,
Oh, absolutely.
which is so weird because I mean these guys are the
Well,
top of the game. They're top of the game.
and they've had like top-notch colorists all along,
Yeah,
but Jacob colors his dad like nobody else.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
since Jacob joined, it's just been like top to bottom, n- nobody as consistently
yeah.
does stuff that good.
How does Jacob
Many
find the
people,
time to do all this stuff? How do you
I
have?
do not know.
Is he based in England or is he based? Where's he based?
He is based in, I want to say Manchester, in a container. He's at
What?
There's like a shipping yard that the containers have been rented out to businesses. So his studio is in a container. There's like a barber container down the way and a
What?
sandwich shop container. And I know because he zoomed to us from his container.
Now I'm so jealous because I recorded something for BBC, like an audio drama, and it was
Right.
with the
I listened to
BBC
that
in
today.
Manchester. Oh, you listened to it.
We
Oh, go
didn't even
listen to
come up
this.
to that, but I listened
Oh
to
my
that
gosh.
today.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
very
good.
for the. Thank you, thank you.
This is what happens when you only give me an hour to talk, man. You have to
Oh
come
my
back.
gosh, I'm so sorry. Actually, I would love to come back. This has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot because this
I
is
try
not
to
like
see
when
you
did
were
you come when did
asking
you come
how
up with
I
the
managed
idea?
to have 500 plus episodes. It's because
There you go.
I don't understand why, but apparently people like
It's
talking to me.
it's
I
it's
keep,
because the publicists get back to the artists and the creators. They're like, you didn't hit the points you were supposed to. Go back on
well,
the
but
show
see,
again.
I've only recently started using publicists.
Oh, okay, okay.
In fact, while I love your publicist that has gotten
Yeah,
me a
yeah,
number of interviews, the reason that I started getting involved with them was it was twofold. It was Dennis Kitchen is already a friend, and they're doing the
yeah.
publicity for a documentary about him. So when I saw that, I emailed Dennis And Dennis hooked me up with them to hook me up with everybody else. But then they just put me on their email list. And I went, oh, yes, I would like to talk to that person. Sure, I'd love. And also, I noticed that one of them was, in fact, a creator that I liked. And I'm like, is this you, Dustin?
There you go.
We found out we had mutual friends and that sort of thing. So no, mostly I've just discovered that like a shocking number of people in comics will email you back if you email them.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
that they don't have as many people
yeah.
to talk comics about either. So like if you just want to talk
That's
comics with them, they
that's what I mean. I was doing an interview last week, and they're like, "Well, you do a lot of work in comics and podcasts. Why?" I'm like, "Because I love the communities in the two. Like I love the writing process and the creative process, but I also love the communities in both. And I love to hop on podcasts that talk about like podcasts in the podcasts in the podcast community, and then podcasts in the comics world. Because I mean, you get to
right,
geek out on stuff, and you get to geek out on like Brubaker and Phillips collabs. I mean,
right.
and that's why. And when you ask like what do you recommend, or what do you love reading that you wish more people? I wish that everyone in the podcast space, everyone that I deal with in the podcast world, I wish they would read that, because I think it's an
Well, and this is part of your problem with having like
yeah.
been published by the Business Insider. You're getting called by the non-geek podcasts.
I know, it's true. It's
You're
true.
getting called by the people that are like talking to a comics creator. They still make those.
Understand the business model has evolved over the last 15 years, but
Yes, it's getting there. But
anyways,
yeah, no, it's a fun
Ted,
community.
yeah,
I
it's a
like it.
very
Let
fun
me
community.
let me take us out and then we'll chat for a few minutes, but it'll be
Yeah,
easier to let me go if I go too long because we won't be
perfect.
recording and you won't have to go, hey Tad, we said we were gonna wrap it up.
Tad, my mom has to. It's my mom's bedtime. She needs to go.
You
Come on.
must. So for Anthony Del Col, whose book Romeo versus Juliet will be in stores on World Shakespeare Day, April 23rd. And I should plug the artist. Do you remember the artist off the top of your head?
No, he's a hack.
Stefan Tashev.
I'm just
Well, I
kidding.
don't know,
Yeah,
but he's definitely not a hack. He did a very good
he's
job.
he's not a hack. He's a great artist. He's another Canadian based out of Vancouver, BC. In fact, it's almost an all Canadian team. Our
Okay.
letter, Becca Carey, is Irish, but she lives in Canada. So,
Hey, hey.
yeah,
Becca Carey does
we're the
good work.
Canadians.
I like
We're
Becca Carey.
yeah, she's great. She's great. She's fantastic to work with. Super quick, and more importantly, like the highest quality. So, I'm so honored to have her on
Absolutely.
the team.
So we will see you after the next page.
Perfect.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.